Good morning. This is day 6 of the Prosperity from the Inside Out class using the statements and principles from the Abundance book. Our statement of principle for the day is, my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply in action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. Let's take that idea into meditation as we allow our eyes to close and take that full deep breath in, and on the exhale just feel yourself relaxing, letting go, going within, turning away from the world of condition. As you take another deep breath in and relax, feel yourself going deeper and gently just getting more and more relaxed inside while staying alert. And as you continue to take a couple of deep breaths, I'll reread the statement of principle for today. My inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply in action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. The first part of that sentence, my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. Let's look within, and it says inner supply. The other days have said, my consciousness of the divine action operating within me is my supply. So this inner supply is that consciousness of the divine mind in action. It's like inner supply might bring the idea of a reservoir, but it's not a reservoir. This inner supply is the consciousness, the movement of the divine mind in action, bringing forth any supply into your life and bringing it from the unseen. This inner supply is the place through which that divine mind takes action, coming from the nothingness into the world of form to assist you with what you need. So the rest of that is, my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. So this is the ultimate as needed delivery. When we have a need, when we have a desire for some form, imagine just turning within, looking at that imaginary reservoir, that imaginary space where the divine mind takes action, and you put the desire and the need in that space, and the divine mind takes action. It meets us where our point of consciousness is. We see the need, We create the desire, and this divine mind says, yes, here's the supply. And notice the time frame, instantly and constantly. So just like Louise Hay was popular for in her early meditations, it's like we have a constant supply. We have a pipeline supply from the unknown, from within us, based on our awareness of the activity of the divine mind. And it takes form, and it's all called into our life based on the needs and the desires we identify. And as that concept is expanding within your chest, within your heart, within your mind, within your entire consciousness, let's look at the rest of that sentence. It says, and as the principle of supply and action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. We may have felt that we've had unfulfilled needs and desires in the past. And as we evolve our consciousness to recognize that our inner supply, this principle of supply in action, is right here ready to fulfill those needs and desires. There is no reason for the child of God to go without. Except for a lack of awareness of the divine mind in action as our supply. So let's become more and more aware of that divine mind being our supply. Literally, that concept, that God self within us is the supply, feeding us instantly, constantly, based on our needs and desires that we turn over to it and just see it being filled. Think of an area of life in you where you have all that you need. And take a moment to look within and see that that came from this divine mind in activity. It may have come through other people, other companies, but the real source of it was the divine mind. See that that's where that came in your life. That's where it came from. Once you identify that, then look at an area of life where you do currently experience lack. And realize that the same supply that gave you abundance in that other area is the same supply seeking to give you abundance in this area that has, up until this point, been one that displayed lack. But now your awareness of this divine mind as a supply as your inner supply that is always taking form and experience, so that you have no unfulfilled needs and desires. So simply use your imagination to see this one area that you want more abundance in. Just see that glow of the inner supply. And from that glow of the inner supply comes whatever resources will fulfill the needs and desires in that area of life. Let's take a few moments and see that. Imagine it. And as you see that area of life, from that glow of the inner supply within you, just filling up those previously unfulfilled desires and needs, from the understanding so far on day 6, realize that that is already opening up in your mind. That consciousness is already expanding. So shift into gratitude for the process. Shift into gratitude that you are taking the steps to expand your awareness so that you identify the divine mind consciousness as your inner supply, from nothingness to form, based on your needs and desires. Be grateful that that's the way this life works. Be grateful for this area of life becoming full and abundant. Be grateful for everything that you have in life. Be grateful for the fact that you're in this place willing to learn, willing to evolve, willing to challenge your old limits, and willing to embrace this truth that my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply in action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. So throughout today, take a moment every hour or so and once again recognize and identify that the abundance you have in one area comes from this inner supply, and that the abundance you desire and need in other areas is right now coming from this inner supply. And as we prepare to complete the call for this morning, stay in this meditative state and imagine all of the areas of your life being fed constantly and instantly from this inner supply. And after you come out of the meditative state, then pick up your gratitude journal and make some notes about this concept and write out what you're grateful for. And let all of that lead you to have a beautiful, abundant day.